Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Financial Sins. I am Tanya Scott Pilcher, and today is January 28th. The month of January is flying by. Can you believe it? We have started a new year for 2022, and boy, the end of the month is already here. We have done some exciting things already this month in our discussions. And today we are going to have another awesome discussion just talking about, a business, the business of insurance. Anyway, again, my name is Tanya. And what I do in the Savannah community is that I have a business called Get Skills. And what we do is that we prepare people that are interested in getting into this $1 trillion industry for insurance. Did I say $1 trillion industry? Yes, it's a $1 trillion industry. And it has such a huge opportunity for people. So, the one big thing that I want to stress today is that in this business, you get to help a lot of people because that's the one thing that everybody has to have in some form or another, but nobody understands what the heck is going on. And we don't even try to understand it until we have a claim, or we have to file a claim, or unless there is some sort of payments that we have to make. We don't even try to understand insurance, but it is a part of every parts of our life. So when you buy a home, you got to have insurance. When you buy an automobile, just living, most of us want to get a job. And when we get that job, what do we want? We want insurance. So I'm just saying that there is room out here for those of you that are interested in changing your life and changing your income and taking a look at the insurance industry. So, since I have been helping so many people kind of get developed, making money and that kind of thing, I wanted to start at the very beginning of it. So, in the business of Get Skills, what we do is that we do the pre-licensing course. So, in the state of Georgia, you have to get an insurance license. And in order to get that insurance license, you have to take a 40-hour pre-licensing course. So, let me tell you about what I'm doing. I have been looking at all of the insurance agents in the Georgia market or in the Savannah market and saying, hey, insurance agents, if you all have adult children that are between the ages of 18 and 30, and sometimes our kids don't want to do what we do, but we got to easily keep our book of business, and if something happens to us, then we need to be able to have that book of business transfer over to a family member as quickly as possible. And if they're already insured, then it would be awesome. We never know what's going to happen, and we can't protect everything. But having our family member in this business and someone like our children, this gives them a career, not just a job, but a full career where the sky is the limit on what they can do. And so Get Skills is going to open up their classes for all that are 18, age 18 to 30. You have children, adult kids that are 18 to 30 and interested in getting them insured or getting them licensed, excuse me. You can enroll them in our class, and our class costs for property and casualty, which is scheduled for February 5th, is $200. And then we have another class for life and health or life, accident, and sickness. It's going to be $200, and it's scheduled for February 26th. So, you know, we're not going to just do insurance agents with kids. I looked at that, and that's kind of how I went at it at first, Anthony. But then I decided that I'd open it up to anyone that is interested in being a part of the class. If you're between the ages of 18 to 30 and interested in getting your insurance license, then this is the time. I'm telling you, what I recognize is that a young person that gets their license early in life, you'll definitely have the opportunity to become a millionaire in this business. When 2008 hit and everybody else bottomed out, not one insurance agent was struggling. I have to tell you that not one insurance agent was struggling. And what we got to remember is that the government bailed insurance companies out during that particular time, too. So that also means that the execs had to slow down just a little bit. And all the money that they were spending traveling and private jets and all that stuff, that kind of had to go to the wayside. However, um, the the real thing is that people were able to continue to stay afloat if they had an insurance license, because that part of the business did not go under. So I'm telling you that this is a awesome career that you ought to think about getting into. So, hey there, Anthony, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
I am. First of all, I need to apologize to all of our viewers for being a few minutes behind schedule. I went from one office to the next, so I have an office at home, but I decided not to use that office today. So I'm in my office outside of the home, and it's a new office, and you can see the picture behind me a little bit and stuff. So we're still putting things together, but yeah, uh, the insurance industry is a beautiful industry. Um, I first entered the insurance industry back in let me think.
Tell me.
um, Let me see, 90, 91, something like that. And I was maybe it was before then. No, oh, yeah, it was way before then. So you have to go 10 years earlier, 81. 81. I was fresh out of college and got a job with a company called Mutual of Omaha. Anybody remember them? Well, they are still around. So I worked with them for a while, and then I got out, and then I worked with a company called A.L. Williams. hmm A. Williams is now Primerica.
America.
Uh huh. And I left A.L. Williams when they transitioned to Primerica because I thought they were going crazy. Uh, Truth be told, that's what I thought. What did I know, right?
Right.
Um, and then I worked with a company called Edward Jones. Anybody hear of Edward Jones? I worked with them, and now I'm with a company called uh, Rankin Financial Center, WSB, Rankin Financial Center. Now,
Right.
who owns that company? Well, World System Builder is owned by a company called Transamerica. Transamerica is owned by a company called Aegon. World System Builder Rankin Financial Center is owned by ta-da, me. Okay, so I'm an independent contractor with World System Builder. So this is very important, this industry. One of the things that I'm doing in this industry, I'd like to help anyone who qualifies. What do I mean by that? You cannot have recent bankruptcy, cannot have felony on your record. Um, Recent, anyway. If it's older, it could be looked at and maybe overlooked. But if it deals anything with financial sins,
Any type of financial
what
sin,
a pun.
those are big. Mm-hmm.
such as money laundering or something like that, ripping off your job for money, then the insurance commissioner will not overlook that. Okay. And they will not grant a license. But I want to tag on what Tanya was saying. I don't know if you folks realize this is the second highest paying industry in the world. In the world. The second, now the first highest, of course, is the entertainment industry. You just try to break into that. Have fun. I worked in the entertainment industry for a minute. I was singing and traveling,
Whoa.
and I actually had an invitation to sing at a place called the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, that's
Y'all ever
beautiful.
hear that place? And I turned it down. I turned it down. People say, "Why you turned it down? Why you turned it down?" I turned it down because my wife was ready to have a family, and I was traveling enough, and so I made a decision. I said, "My wife is much more important than a career in the entertainment industry where I will never be home."
Wow.
You
What
know,
kind of music
so
did you sing? I'm just kind of curious.
huh?
What kind of music did you sing?
Oh, I sung stuff by mainly gospel, but I sung a lot of Luther Vandross stuff
Okay.
for weddings and stuff like that, and
So you gotta
so I did some R&B. I did
break out a tune for us one day.
some jazz tunes, but primarily gospel.
Awesome.
See that I wasn't, I mean, I've been a minister for a long time, so I did a variety of things and wrote some songs, but never really had them published. But I did have a book published. Um, so, but the finance industry is vast, so it's just not dealing with insurance.
Nope.
All right, so you could get into the finance. Now, um, I know a young lady who got into the finance industry
Uh-huh.
and she got her license. Never did anything with them.
Okay.
All right. And then with her license, she applied for a job at the bank. And because she had
Her
her
insurance.
license, they actually hired her.
Mm-hmm.
So she went from a teller to now she is a mortgage originator or mortgage. She does the closings at the bank. And I'm like,
Awesome.
whoa. So you see, the finance industry could bring you in different directions. But if you want to get into uh, an industry that's gone where you can make serious money. Now, Tanya brought it up about you could be a millionaire, especially if you start young.
Absolutely.
I don't care what age you start at. If
That's
you be consistent
yep.
and be willing to
To work.
go through the learning stages of this industry, you will make lots and lots of money and you'll have generational wealth.
That's true.
Generational wealth. So what I'm doing, I'm looking for people who's interested in getting into this finance industry. How much is it going to cost? Well, in our neck of the woods, it I almost really live in the woods, right? I mean, I live in the city, but it's more suburban. But if you go down the street and around the corner from my house, you see a cow pasture. Go down the street and a little further, there's some horses. All right, so I say neck of the woods, right?
Yeah.
Wow, and it's interesting. But what I'm looking for, people that's interested in really wanting to do this and start their own thing. Now, you never be alone. We have training.
Let's
Hmm?
let's start with what's the opportunity in insurance,
Yeah,
because our doors are open. We
wide
all
open.
looking.
Mhm.
So what's the opportunity? So let's talk about what people can actually how they can get involved, and then
Hmm.
what areas, what lines are out there for them.
Yeah,
One,
there's so many lines, aren't there? There's so many lines.
there are several lines. What's our most popular? We got life and health.
Life and health. I think auto's probably one of the most popular
Yeah,
auto homeowners, but life is extremely popular. And you know what's becoming very demanding right now?
what's
Long
that?
term care.
Absolutely. And you have to have accident and sickness. You have to have a health license
You
in
have to
order
have
to
a
do
health
long-term
license for
care,
that. That's
and
right.
also have to have an 8-hour class to
That's
do
right.
home
Hmm.
care. So
Hmm.
so we have you have life and health, property and casualty, and adjusters.
Adjusters, right?
That is, and then there are several others called something called personal line, and there are some others I can't really think of right now. I
Hmm.
did
Hmm.
have some things up, but you can be involved in any of those. Well, the four main ones, and for
Right.
most
The four
main
main ones. Hmm.
licenses, you can go into several different areas. So in the state of Georgia, if you're
Hmm.
interested in getting an insurance license,
Right.
you have to take a licensing course,
Right.
a
40
40-hour
hours.
course that
Mhm.
everyone has to take. And you
Right.
have options out there. So there's some online options of taking a
Hmm.
course.
Right.
Um, the company that I usually refer people to is called Exam FX.
Hmm. Same
Um,
here. Yep.
there's another out there called Excel Solutions.
Hmm.
Um, and there are several hundred different courses that you can take online.
Right.
Those of you that live in Georgia and live in Savannah, then
Hmm.
of course my business does pre-licensing courses, and we do them once a month for now. We do pre-licensing for property and casualty
Right. Hmm.
and life and health, and
Hmm.
we just got approved to do the courses for getting your adjuster's license.
Awesome.
We're growing fast, and so those are some of your options. If you want a person that's going to, hold your hand, getting you prepared for the exam, then you
Yeah.
go that route. All
Yeah.
right. And then, so that's your insurance license and
Hmm.
what's available here. And then once you take the class, then what's our next step, Anthony? We got to take a test, right?
Yeah, you got to take a test, man. And listen, the test, what is it, 100 questions?
It's now 125 questions, 125
125
questions,
questions. Yeah.
2.5
You
hours.
know. Yeah. And so, but listen, don't let that scare you. I've known people. I took the test twice.
Mhm.
First time I failed it by 1 point. Boy, I was so mad. I was. You have to pass with a 70.
Right.
All right. I it is two parts to the test. All right. And
Yeah.
I failed by one stinking point.
Well,
One.
long as you pass, right?
Yeah, I was so mad, but that second time I passed. Now
Right.
I've known people. There's a lady in our organization who I think she 4 times, 5 times,
Mhm.
you
No,
know.
I had one that took it six. I've
Yeah,
had a person take the class 6 times.
yeah.
Uh, but guess what? Once she finished that test, she became a manager in no time. She moved so quick through the company that she was working with,
Hmm.
um, that and made so much money. It was just unbelievable. And so
That's right.
people get
Wow.
discouraged real easy when they fail. But I try to remind them is that you have no idea how many times your doctor took his board exams,
That's right.
but he's still
Or your attorney took
or
that bar exam.
that's right, taking that bar exam. But they are attorneys and there are doctors at this day. So it just takes, a minute or two to just get your mind together about what you want to do. And once you fix your mind that you want to pass something, you can. And so, one of the other things that we're doing now is that we're going to start offering just these 1-day classes, helping people get the concepts of what they need to pass it.
Right.
We're going to do that worldwide, Anthony. We're taking on that task because the test is really a national test. And so, from it being a national exam, then there are some things in each different state, but
Hmm.
the basis of the exam is the same in every parts of the United States.
Exactly.
Um,
Right.
yeah, we're gonna help people actually knock that thing out the first time
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
So once you take your exam, then and you pass it, you got to file your paperwork with the state of Georgia.
You have to do that. All right. And um, the expenses really aren't that much. All right. So you're going to get into the insurance depending on which area you're going to go in. If you are working with a company, you're not going to have a bunch of expenses. Like if you're working for a bank or a corporation and they want to bring you on, and you're on salary or something like that, they're going to cover most of your expenses. But if you want to start your own business in the insurance industry, there's
Right,
some expenses involved, but they're not all upfront. All
right.
right. So they're gradual. So I could get somebody in the insurance industry for as little as $500, but
That's right.
it's not all at one shot. It's
Over a period.
application fee. They have to do a background check and all that, credit check, and the cost for the license, what is it, $60?
For your test is $63.
$63, right.
Take your exam,
And then
and
the state license is how much now? I forget.
$100.
$100. That's right. All
Right,
right. So all of that is inclusive in what I'm saying, and you want to make sure that and keep in mind something too. You make money that first year. Guess what? All that money you put into it's a
right.
tax write-off.
That's right. And so you have not only that fee, then the next one after you have gotten your license, which
Hmm.
was $100 to file for your license. And
Right.
you also have to file a citizenship document. And that citizenship document that you have to file with the state, they do a background on you. And then the next thing, you have to pay for a background fee for them to check your background. I think that's
Hmm.
like $65. So that's part of that first 500. And
Right.
then once you have your insurance license, then you make some decisions. You make
Yeah.
decisions on which area, which field, how do you want to go. Um,
Hmm.
you can decide on again what area. But the next thing that you really need is to get an E&O. E&O insurance.
Hmm.
An agent can make their fees back in one sale. That's right. That is
That's right.
absolutely right, Pam Jones. They can make it back in
Mhm.
one sale.
Now, E&O is very important. That's
Yes,
error and omissions. Now, let me help you understand something. See, a lot of people talk down or they shy away from this industry because insurance agents have a bad rep, so to speak. But you know what? The insurance industry is a very professional industry and very highly scrutinized by the government. All
yes,
right. Very much so. And so the E&O license or insurance is extreme. Attorneys have it,
yep,
doctors have it. All right. Those in professional areas that require a license have
and
E&O.
that's right.
So you will be no different. You have to have E&O. With our organization, it's $135 quarterly. But if you reach a certain plateau in your income, guess what? The main company, they'll go ahead, even though you're an independent contractor, they'll pay it for you if you reach a certain level in your income. It's like an incentive, right?
Right.
So there's some other fees involved, but there's not a whole bunch. You when you're trying to get into any business, there's going to be an investment of money,
That's
an
it.
investment of time, an investment of knowledge, and an application. Go ahead. You were going to say something, Tanya.
Well, yeah, I was, and when you get your E&O insurance, and depending on which direction you go in.
Yeah.
So when you work for a corporation, then the corporation holds your E&O, and so
Right.
you don't even worry about it either. But if you're independent, then you have your own E&O, and so you gave the
Mhm.
cost for if you're with the company that you are, and if you're
Yeah.
independent, then you purchase your own E&O on your own
On
through
your own.
companies, which could be as much as $33 a month.
Right.
Okay, so $33 a month would average out about $400 a year.
Mhm.
So most of us pay our own E&O insurance unless you work for a company. Then the company would pick it up. And that has its advantages and disadvantages. Again, it just depends on what you want to do. And our thing today is that we're just talking about all the different aspects of the career,
Right.
because I started out earlier just kind of talking about the youth and adult, young people, age 18 to 30, and getting your insurance license, and just kind of thinking about the opportunity. I could have saved my parents thousands of dollars in going to college and loans if I would have gotten into the insurance industry earlier in life. And
That's
so
right.
my son has taken that direction himself. He decided that he didn't want to go as much as we pushed, but now he has his own business in insurance. So
Mhm.
this is where he's having fun. He's enjoying it because it allows him to help people along with making sales. And so that was the other point I wanted to bring up, is that if you want to get into this business, you got to be about helping people, because there's so much people don't know. And it is an avenue for them to grow their personal income if you help
That's
them.
right.
And there's just so much in insurance that all of us have to have it. If you walk this earth, you got to have some kind of insurance, right? And so you just need to decide next what you want to do. So once you become an independent agent or an agent that works for a company, then you can go in any direction. So Anthony was telling us last week that he opened up his office, and that's where he's talking to us from now. And so,
Correct.
what did it
Mhm.
take for you to open up an agency? You're an insurance agent that's independent. So,
Mhm.
let's talk about what it took for you to open up your office.
Well, I cried a lot. I just kept crying. I said to my wife, "Please let me open." No, you have to make a decision. All right. Once you make a decision, you need a plan. So with a plan, of course, you're writing down your plan. Your plan's attached to your vision, but you need a business plan. So I
Absolutely.
had to develop a business plan that made sense, that was achievable for me to open up this office. So what did I do? After I constructed that plan and I constructed a projection of income for myself, then I determined how much I wanted to spend in opening an office.
Right.
You have to decide that. How much do you want to spend? And are you going to do it independently or by yourself, or are you going to have an administrator? So right now I'm by myself, but guess what? I contract out to an administrator.
Right.
All right. So you have to make sure that you have somebody that knows how to set your office up. All right, because in the finance industry, in the insurance industry, there's a lot of legality, and
Absolutely.
you want to make sure that you cross every T, dot every I. All right, because as I said earlier, everything is scrutinized. So what did it take? Location, location, location. All
Okay.
right. I sold real estate for 12 years, so it's still stick in my head. Location, location. I am on a main road.
That's great. And going in an office direction is
Mhm.
great. I mean, we've kind of done office, but when we first got started, we decided that we wanted to do an independent agency.
Mm-hmm.
So we started in our home. And so we get a lot of questions in reference to, as we're doing the classes and people are coming out and they hear these terms, FMO, um,
Uh-huh.
independent, IMOs, and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. There's a lot of that that's discussed, and so it depends on, again, what you have decided to do. And
Yeah.
um, there's organizations that you can join with that are insurance agencies, and
Mm-hmm.
basically those insurance agencies have contracts
Right.
from the major carriers. So
Right.
if you're doing life insurance, then they may have the Transamerica contract, they may have
Mm-hmm.
F&G contract, they may have an AIG contract. And when you go through those FMOs have the contracts that you complete, and they are the ones that are probably doing a lot of the training.
Hey, Tanya, let me ask you something.
Mhm.
For our listeners, what's a FMO?
They're called field marketing organizations.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's those different titles come in because of the size of the organization.
Oh, right.
So
Mm-hmm.
when they are an FMO, then they have over a certain number of agents. But let's
Agents.
so let's
Right.
say that agent number is like 500.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're producing a certain amount of
Lot of
business as an
right.
organization. So
Mm-hmm.
does that allow you to grow to that? Absolutely. You as an independent can grow your business just like that,
Yeah.
so you can start out with you and yourself, and you can join with other agents and
Mm-hmm.
start an agency and grow to an FMO, depending on, again, where you want to go and in what direction. We do a lot of health insurance because we do Medicare. And so in our agency, we have an agency that has a Medicare arm along with affordable health care. So that's where the majority of our business and our agents are. So we take those agents and we do training with them every 2 weeks to every month in reference to different topics, helping them build their income.
Right.
So you can join small agencies, you can start your own agency, or you can join different network marketing companies. You
Right.
can join FMOs, you can join whatever you choose to. And if you don't like what you join, you can always get out, because that's the way this business is. You can
Yeah.
just say, I don't
Yeah.
want to work with you.
Yeah. Even if you start off independent
Right?
and you do your own thing, then you get tired of doing your own thing. You want to work with a company, you can go do that.
Yep.
See, your credentials go with you.
No matter what you do, your credentials go with you.
They
You
go with
gotta maintain your license, and maintaining
you.
your
Yep.
license just means that you
Hmm.
have to pay the fee every 2 years and
Yep.
get your continuing education credits.
Continue education. That's right.
And you can go from place to place. You can sit at home, watch television, and say, "Oh, I like that Colonial Life commercial. I want to work with them," and
Yeah.
call them up and decide that you want to get a contract with that company.
Yeah.
That's how this business works.
Yeah.
You know,
We have over, I don't know, through Transamerica, we have over 100 different companies that we deal with. Now, I don't know them all, and guess what? I'm not going to try to know them all. I have a handful of companies that I deal with, and that's enough for me. But one of my areas that I'm really going to specialize in this year is that of education,
absolutely.
helping students from eighth grade up find money, find money, help them to find money for college, whether it's a grant or a scholarship or loans or what. There's oodles of money out there. I mean, oodles. Did you know that there is actually a scholarship out there available for a child if their parents has diabetes?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, listen, there's all types of money out there. There's money out there for people of color, money out there for women, lots of money out there for women. All right. So there's money out there for the single the single parent income. There's just lots of money. So um, the key is knowing where to go to get the money. And so that's one of the companies that we deal with. That's what they specialize in. And so we're going to really tune in on that to help people find money for their children so that their children don't have to just attend 1 year, 2 years, and then drop out.
That's awesome. That is so great. I totally um know that parents need that kind of stuff. That is
Mhm.
fantastic. I believe
Mhm.
Pamela Jones had asked me about getting your number so that she could get more information. She's a part of a nonprofit organization, and they do a scholarship for those that are majoring in becoming a doctor, I believe it is, or in the med field. So the Kyla Brownsville neighborhood, she's probably
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong, but they do the same thing, and Anthony, I definitely want to make sure that all of these sororities and organizations that are local, the
yeah,
MLK organization, there are so many different scholarships that are out here and helping parents that have young people that want to go to college or
yeah.
advance their education is great. So if you find any homeschool things, let me know, okay? Because
Let me give an example of something. There's a gentleman in our organization who's a multimillionaire, a multimillionaire. His daughter, he enrolled his daughter in this program. Okay. Now there's a cost involved, all right. He enrolled his daughter in this program. That child got so much money
hmm
that not only did it pay for her 4 years in college,
hmm
she had enough money. They found enough money to where it paid for an apartment and she was able to buy a car all through that money, all
Woo.
through that money. All right. So at 4 years of school paid for. Listen, it's amazing the amount of money that's out there, but you just have to know it. So that's one of the areas where we're really going to focus in on this year, along with long-term care. You know what, Tanya? I'm getting a some paperwork done with South Carolina because I want to open up an office in South Carolina and Columbia either this year or next year if the Lord says the same. And uh, the South Carolina, now you get your license in Georgia, you definitely want to get connected with South Carolina
South Carolina
because
and Florida.
yeah, and Florida because and I say South Carolina specifically because they uh, reciprocate with a variety of states where our state does not. All right, so in certain areas, so. Um, how do people reach you on the subject of scholarship assistance? My number is running across sooner or later.
Yep.
Um, but it's going to come across the screen, but I'll give it to you 912-704-7044. And we're going to start having, for that, we're going to start having free workshops. They will be online and we will have them in person because in the office where I'm at, we have a common or community conference room. All right. And if it turns out to where it's not big enough, no problem. There's a community center down the street. I can rent it out. Why? Because it's just that important.
Absolutely.
It's
And
just
definitely,
that important.
we have additional space at the Empowerment Center that we can always use too, Anthony,
Absolutely.
in Garden City. And then
Yep.
I have an office on the south side that we can also use. So it's a big enough classroom to hold 30, 40 people.
Yeah.
So we definitely can use that. So that it is so important to help as many parents and youth, try to get into school. So we'll definitely let's start looking at it early. Everybody should have those applications in, or their financial aid is
Yeah.
should be a part of what you're
Yeah.
doing.
See, there's so much out there. So you could do financially, but you have to do your FAFSA and all that stuff. But listen, there's so much money out there. I'm I'm telling you.
Yep.
Now, there's no service that is free. All right. The program costs, but the information that I provide for you to get into the program is going to be free. And it's just one of those things where a lot of people don't take the advantage of it, but it's cheaper to do that program than it is to take out a whole bunch of loans and then try to figure out how you're going to pay them back.
No, not just figure out how you're gonna pay them back. How you gonna keep those kids in school?
Yeah,
You
how
know,
you going to keep those kids in
sometimes,
school? And not just that, people go to school, right? And they say, "Oh, school promised me I'm gonna get a job." Yeah, the school does
yeah,
not promise you a job; it promise you a piece of paper.
that's all they do. Definitely, because I have a son that has one of my oldest. He has 2 degrees. Got one in biology and one in biology and one in something else. But anyway, that's not the kind of work that he's doing today. We figured that he was going to be our next doctor, and he did not do that. Then
Wow.
my son Baruch, he decided I'm not doing that because I'm not following up what my brother did. So,
Mhm.
but he is still making good money, but he's just not in that field or that industry. So
Yeah.
life changes as we get out. And again, insurance is a great industry for people
Powerful.
that are looking for something to do,
Hmm. Hmm.
that like people that want to really make some money in this industry. So, what I have, the people that are around me, they do life insurance. And when they do life insurance, they also sell what they call final expense. And
Hmm.
some of them do it through companies called Senior Life, and that final expense and the way that they do that business, they knock on doors. So
Yeah.
some people go out and they knock on doors because people need help that's sitting inside and they have no way to, they don't have enough insurance to get themselves
Hmm.
buried in the
Hmm.
ground. So you have
Hmm.
people that go out and help folks like that. Then you have
Hmm.
a life insurance where we talk about is index universal life, and people are like, I don't know what you mean when you say index. Well, that's generational wealth that you can set up for yourself and for your kids, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we had a question here: scholarships for advanced degrees too? Yes. See,
Yep.
there's no age limit. Um, they just cannot be in any grade lower than eighth. So, can someone be out of school? Yeah, yeah. It's all up to you. Uh, the thing is, the platform with World System Builder is so wide.
Right.
It's so wide. I had to pick and choose what I want to specialize in.
Hmm.
So I chose retirement, education, and life. Now, so life insurance includes, for me, long-term care, um, final expense, um, of course,
Index.
burial insurance, life insurance, depending on which way you want to look at it. All right, and education, and I there we even have an area where we help people, and I have not submitted to this one yet because I didn't want to take the course. I'm trying to do my continuing education courses right now, um, where we help people understand where their social security will be when they retire. So we can tell them exactly how much money they'll be receiving and how they can actually increase that money by making just a few changes in their life and
They're
in
safe.
what they put on paper for the company that they work with. Let me tell you, there is a wealth of information out there, people. A wealth of information. You want to get into the finance industry. All right.
Absolutely.
It is valuable. And I'm telling you that people who stick with it never hurt for anything.
Absolutely. And so the side that I decided to work on is Medicare, um, long-term care, and education. So we also do affordable health care, which again is a health insurance that what you all know of it as Obamacare. Yes, I still sell life insurance. I still sell final expense. I'm into funeral programs and that kind of stuff too, along with making sure that people that want to get into this business have a way to get in. There aren't a lot of people that are teaching this face to face.
Hmm.
People are still doing it online, and other people learn differently. So when you connect with a class that has a live instructor, then you can also go through a simulator that you can practice on the exam. You have a book, you have all of that stuff. So educating there. And then we open up our classrooms to the community to give you information on all of these things without charging
Right.
anything.
Right.
We just wanted you to get your life in order because we're gonna live. We may live a very long time, but the last thing is that we are gonna die. So you got to get that
Hello.
portion and that piece in order too, for those that are gonna be here longer. So we are excited that all of you are with us today. And, do you all have any questions in reference to this, the business of insurance or in finances? Because we're here to answer those questions.
Hmm.
We're talking about the business side of it and just getting involved and getting into it. Because this is one of those topics that we haven't talked about
Right.
before. And financial sins is all about correcting those things that we
Hmm.
sinned on for so long
Right.
and that we keep doing over and over, but want you to have an out for your life. We want
Hmm.
you to have an out. We want you to do something better with it. And we're here to share with as much information as we can with you. One of the other things when we set up an agency is that we did go and file with the IRS to get an EIN number
Hmm.
with our agency. We did that, and we also, after we got our EIN number, we decided to, which
LLC.
we LLC'd our business. And when you do an insurance agency that is going to sell insurance, you also file that with the state. So
Hmm.
our actual agency is also filed with the state as an insurance company. Now, Get Skills is a different business, and so it doesn't have to because we don't sell insurance. So Get Skills does not is not filed as an insurance agency. Get Skills is a training company. So, but we still have again our EIN and our LLC. One of the things that Flo was talking about this week is the process of doing an LLC.
Hmm.
And so that process is very simple. A lot of us will get an attorney to help go through that process, which there is nothing wrong with doing that because there are some additional paperwork that should be signed if you have partners in a partnership agreement. And attorneys make sure that you're putting everything in order when you have a way in and a way out if you decide to
Hmm.
end your business. So that's what's important when you get an attorney to help you file your LLC. But if you do it yourself, you can just go to the Secretary of State um, line. And when you go out to the Secretary of State for Georgia, you complete the information. You need to have a board of directors, and you also need to have minutes,
Hmm.
and you need to have what's the others, and one more document. Um,
Board of
let's see,
directors minutes.
um, you got to actually have the document that says this is your president, and what the president does is your vice
Yeah.
president. They do. Uh, what,
All right. So we're both drawing the blank on it. Okay. Um, board of directors. Um,
okay, and then you file your
it'll
fee.
come. It'll come.
You file your fees,
Hmm.
and after you file your fees, then you now have your LLC, or you can decide to set your business up as a corporation.
Yeah.
And if you want to, bylaws, thank you, Pamela Jones. You gotta
Bylaws.
have
Yeah.
bylaws.
Yeah.
Whoa, thank you, Pam. Um, you gotta have bylaws, and so,
Mhm.
and then once you do that, you're all set and good. It's just how you file your taxes on the other end.
Yeah.
So again, we've talked about today just kind of the business of insurance, the business of where an insurance business can go into finances, and having a financial company. I've seen a lot lately, Anthony, where uh, insurance companies have been partnering a lot with tax companies.
That's right. That's right.
you know so
Hmm.
they've been going hand in hand. They've been
Hmm.
sharing business. They're sharing business tips.
That's
uh,
right.
you are an independent in this business.
Hmm.
You actually okay, so Aisley just said actually LLCs have operating
Operating agreements, not
bylaws.
bylaws.
Thank you. There's my attorney out there on the line giving us that advice, that
Hmm.
that good solid stuff that we need. So um then you want to make sure that that's why you use an attorney for some of these things.
Hmm.
And most of us are afraid of the cost, you know and uh, talk to one. They do a consulting fee. Or which is normally free.
Hmm.
Consult first. I always push that you need to have legal advice. So many of us start our businesses and we don't get the advice of a person that of any type of legal advice,
Yeah.
and we don't have an accountant.
Hmm.
And so those are the things that you actually need, or people that you actually need, and should be a part of your business.
Your business, yeah. You have to have a master plan, but how are you going to develop that master plan? You need these other professionals involved because the wisdom in their field of expertise. All right. What you don't want to run into is to get your business up and running and the government say, hey, we have to close you down. That's what you don't want.
That is absolutely right. So,
Mhm.
Anthony, we are near our end. And so
Yeah.
we're going to be talking next week. We're going to be here next week. We're here every Friday. We're here every
At
Friday
1 o'clock.
at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
This
And
finance.
our audience is growing. And so we wanted to continue, and it will continue to grow by you kind folks letting somebody else know and almost demanding them to get on. Why? Because they're aspiring entrepreneurs. They're aspiring, or I spoke with a guy today who told me straight up, he makes like $1,200 a week and he's broke the next week.
Wow. What's his problem?
He likes to spend money. He likes to spend money. I was like, where in the world can $4,800 a month go? $1,200 a week. So he and I, guess what we're going to do? We're going to sit down so he can start putting some of that money away.
That's good. He
Yeah.
needs to. He
Yeah.
definitely needs to. Hey,
Yes.
I want to bring up something else. There is
Yeah.
a meeting on Monday called Join the Community Dialogue and Movement.
Okay.
And it's rethinking your economics in Savannah, Chatham County, and minority participation in 2022 and beyond. So there's going to be you all will be able to find it on my Facebook page later on today. I'm going to put it up. But they're just going to be talking, having a dialogue in reference to the minority participation and just thinking about the economics and how it is spread beyond in our community, or how it's not probably spread within our community,
Uh-oh.
and how you
Uh-oh.
can really take an opportunity to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
looking at more businesses than just construction, for African Americans and for minorities in this industry, or in your different industries, and how you can participate more in the Savannah Chatham County area with other things that are going on. And so I know that there are hundreds of new entrepreneurs that are out here, because these entrepreneurs exploded since the pandemic. You know, there are plenty of businesses or new businesses that are here, and the city of Savannah is spending money. They're helping big corporations. And so we got to shout out and yell that, it's time to help everybody, not just the large, but
That's
even
right.
the small businesses that are here.
Mhm.
And African Americans do great business. African Americans do great business. We ask that you support your own African American business. The month
Mhm.
of February is coming up, and I hate to just say through the month of February, but make it your business. The
Yeah.
easiest people that you can support today, you can have an attorney that's African American, your professionals. You can have an eye doctor, a dentist, your hairdresser, your nail technician. If you can't think of anything else to do, these are things that we do on a regular, So your barber, the person that cleans your home, anything, try to do your business with African Americans.
Mhm.
You need a painter. You need right now, I don't know if I'm going to get my taxes done by my tax friends, but I need someone to do my taxes. So
Mm.
I'm out here looking, and believe me, I am not going to find someone else. I'm going to find someone that looks like me to do business with. So I'm stressing and, asking that each of you, reach out as February is coming around, to do business with your own. And again, we're going to have this discussion on Monday. It's going to be on the 31st at 6:30. It is a Zoom meeting. It's called Join the Community Dialogue Movement. And they're going to be talking about minority participation.
Hey, Tanya, let me ask you, do you have the Zoom information that you could put up there?
I don't know how to, put the whole thing. So I'm just going to put it on the Facebook site. I'll give it to Julius so that he can put it up, and we'll rock and roll from there.
All right.
All right. Okay. You want to close us out, Anthony?
All right. Hey, folks, I want to thank you so, so very much for being with us today. We got a lot of good comments. Man, this has been great. I really appreciate it. You know what? Wow, I don't know what to say other than stay in touch with us and spread this word, right? Share, share, share. And anyone that you could think of, they want to check this out, they could catch us on YouTube. All right, this is going to be on YouTube. All right, and also it's going to air again on Sunday afternoon, I believe, and possibly next Wednesday. So, folks, we want to thank you so very much. Don't forget to share, let people know that we're here. And my name is Anthony Murray. Thank you for being my friend.
You all have a great one.
Take care. We
Take
love
care.
you.